My grandfather was injured by a horse that ran wild at the landing at Gallipoli. Its belly had been ripped open by the barbed wire hidden under the surface of the water. Somehow, in all that carnage, his comrades got him on a Red Cross ship. He thought he was lucky, on his way back to Devon to recuperate. Heaven. But the ship was bombed, not far from here. It sank in a clear glass sea, not one of those stormy days that Ulysses beat his way through. Ideal holiday weather. Of course, a Red Cross should not have been attacked. Geneva Conventions. But both sides, by this time, had been running arms and fresh troops under its flag. His ship, however, was the real thing, not sailing under false colours. But he, and many others, had to pay the price for the deceit of generals, as always. This much is known history. As the water poured into his ward, a nurse tried to calm him, although she must have been terrified herself. She wiped his sweat away and gave him a sip of clear water. He thought this gesture absurd as the water rose around their feet. Absurd, but fine. He loved her so much in that moment that it hurt him more than his injury. She didn't try to escape. Perhaps there was no escape. Perhaps it never crossed her mind. That he'd never know. Just as he'd never know if anyone survived. As the first wave of water hit them, she freed his arms, but not his legs. The screams of the dying men were deafening, echoing against the broken skin of the ship. He hung around her neck, holding on. The second wave covered them. They held their bursting breath. But that last air doesn't last into eternity, and so they gulped in the water, as though they'd wandered in from out of a desert. And he thought, in that torrent that so suddenly became a silent pool, he thought he could see tears trickling down her face. He knew this to be crazy. How could you see such a thing with all that water around you? And even if you could, even if there were tears, what did it matter to either of them or to anybody else? They were dead anyway.